Good afternoon, everyone. So I hope everyone joined the session. We'll start now. So what are we discussing yesterday? We are done with the GANs notebook implementation, correct? And we have started with IBM, right? IBM Cloud. Yes. Yeah, good afternoon. Okay. Okay, let me just share my screen. So we'll start with IBM and we'll understand what are all the different service models. Yesterday, what is the service model that we have discussed? What was the service model that we have discussed, guys, yesterday? Anyone remember? Yes, correct. IaaS we have discussed. Understood IaaS, everyone? Don't worry, we'll just walk through the things once again. Let me just open that PPT and share the screen, okay? I'm sharing my screen, just a moment. Okay. The Cloud Foundation, Watsonx platform, Watson Orchestrate, Watson Studio. So these are all the things which we'll be learning, right? So now, today we have started with the cloud computing definition, correct? What exactly cloud computing is, we have seen. So anyone having any doubts on this cloud computing? No, right? Okay, fine. So we have seen the key characteristics also: on-demand self-service, broad network access, resource pooling, rapid elasticity, measured service. So these are some of the key characteristics. Okay, and benefits. Coming into benefits of cloud computing, there were two-way benefits actually. So there were two different scenario kind of benefits, we can say. One is for the enterprise and one is for the developers. Correct. So what are all the benefits of the cloud computing for enterprises? Cost savings, scalability and elasticity, agility and speed, global reach, disaster recovery, and business continuity. So continuity. These are the some of the benefits of cloud computing for enterprises. And coming into developers, some of the benefits is they just need to focus on their code and they will have access to tools and services, collaboration, rapid prototyping. So these are some of the advantages of the for the developers also. And coming into service models, okay, service models are important. In order to understand any cloud architecture or else in order to understand any cloud platform, we need to know about the service models. Okay. So what are all the service models here? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. We have started exploring this infrastructure as a service. Correct. So what is infrastructure as a service? What did I explain yesterday? What is this infrastructure as a service? I have given you an example also. Infrastructure means what are all the things comes under the infra? Here infrastructure will be provided as a service. So in that case, as per our yesterday's example, we'll get what are all the things we'll be getting. We can consider a virtual machine, correct? We can consider a virtual machine, or else a dedicated physical server for us for the high performance workloads. We can rely on the virtual networks, firewalls, load balancing. And coming into storage resources, we can go for the kind of the storage which we are looking for, file storage or else other different kinds of storage. Even in storage also we are having types, okay? And coming into cloud, file storage, file kind of storage, or else we can store it in the format of block, or else we can go for the object purpose also, okay? So here coming into IBM, infrastructure means it will be related to virtual servers or the cloud storage or else the virtual network, okay? Virtual network. Virtual network in the sense software which is particularly defined for the networks, okay? And the firewalls, load balancer. And coming into storage, as I told, we can store the files in three different formats. We can store it in the object format, we can store it inside a file systems kind of a format, or else we can store it as an a raw storage, just like the raw storage, just like the block storage, okay? So that is about the IaaS, okay? So IaaS will provide a flexible and scalable infra also, which will help our company to grow, okay? I hope it's clear. Anyone, any doubts? Do you want me to explain anything else on IAS or clear everyone on IAS? That was a question actually. Fine. Clear IAS, infrastructure as a service, everyone? Fine. Okay. So now we are having this platform as a service and software as a service. Platform as a service means what platform are we choosing? Okay, what platform are we choosing? So here we are referring to IBM, correct? Here we are referring to IBM, which will help us to manage the application, which includes the tools, libraries, and infra, correct? Which includes all those things. So all those things comes under the platform as a service. Software as a service means, for example, if you are considering any notification service. So in that case, you can use, if you are using only that particular service in the IBM, then we can call it as a software as a service. So in three different kinds or else in three different formats, the service models are available. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. These are the three main service models. Okay. And I have given explained you about infrastructure, platform, and the software. I have given an example. Hope you people understood. And if you're still having any doubt, you may ask me. So we'll just see what is IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Okay. Okay. IaaS. What it is saying provides fundamental computing resources, compute, storage. So in the compute category, it provides the virtual machines. Okay. Virtual machines will be provided to us, storage, networking. User manages the operating system. The user will be managing the operating system, middleware, and the applications. Provider manages the underlying infrastructure. Understood? The user needs to manage the operating system and the middleware and the applications. But the base layer or the base underlying infrastructure will be provided and managed by the provider only. Who is the provider here? We are discussing about IBM. Okay, we are discussing about IBM. So what it is saying, leasing the land and basic utilities, you build the house and everything inside. Understood? See, the provider will be leasing you the land in that case. I mean, to understand in a basic level thinking. So it's like you're leasing a land from someone Okay, and you building your own house, and all the items which are present in the house will be belonging to you, and the house will be belonging to you, but the land which it is built on will be of some other person. That's it. Understood? Underlying infrastructure means all the components, all the RAM, all the 16 GB RAM or else 32 GB RAM cards, graphic cards, all that will be related to the provider. And whatever the application that you are building, whatever the features that you are coming up with, whatever the functionalities that you are introducing will be belonging to you. You're just using the infrastructure. That's it. I hope this example was good and clean. I hope it was clear for you, whoever is having any doubt. And what are the examples? IBM virtual servers, IBM bare metal servers, IBM cloud object storage. So VPC is very important. Okay, VPCs is virtual servers or else virtual private clouds. Also, we'll say bare metal servers. Bare metal servers is nothing but the same servers. Whatever the CPU, RAM, all those things which we are saying, we'll be calling it as a server, right? So that is a bare metal server and cloud object storage. So storing the files in the format of an object in the cloud is known as a cloud object storage. Okay, storing the files in the format of object in the cloud is known as cloud object storage. This is about IaaS. Okay, now coming into PaaS. What is PaaS saying? PaaS is a platform as a service. So what it is saying, provides a platform for developing, running, and managing applications without the complexity of building and maintaining the infrastructure. So without building and maintaining the infrastructure, okay, for developing, running, and managing the applications, you can do that without the complexity of building that and maintaining that infrastructure. Okay, so again, what it is saying, provider manages the operating system, middleware, runtime, user manages the application and the data. See, understood the difference here? Here, user in the IaaS, the user manages the operating system, middleware, and application. Okay. In the past, what happens? Provider will also manage the operating system, middleware, runtime. Okay. User just needs to manage the applications and the data. That's it. Now see the analogy over here. Renting a workshop with all the tools. Okay. There is a workshop which is located in a small shed or else in a, let's say there is a workshop. Okay, and that workshop is having all the tools. Okay, all the tools, and we are just renting that particular workshop to some person. That's it. Or else someone is looking over that workshop, and what they need to do, they need to focus on building the application or the product or the whatever the order that which is incoming. That's it. And what are all the tools will be provided by the provider: operating system, databases, runtime, environment. We are completely using the platform over there, and we are just by using the platform only we are building our application. That's it. So what are the things we are having here? Examples: cloud code engine, cloud kubernetes service, IKS is IBM cloud kubernetes service. Okay, or it is also called as Red Hat OpenShift on IBM cloud. There is this another name, Red Hat OpenShift. Okay, Kubernetes. Anyone heard of Kubernetes? Kubernetes will help us to manage all the services. Okay, all the container services. So I hope even PaaS is clear for everyone. If anyone is having any doubts on PaaS also, let me know in the Q&A. Once I'll complete this SaaS and then I'll clear your doubts. So SaaS. What is SaaS saying? So first we'll go through the analogy and then we'll go through the definition, okay? Because it will be making things simple. So what is analogy over here? Subscribing to a fully managed service like email or any customer related management. Okay. You just need to use that particular software. That's it. I just told you, right? Whenever you're being registered in a website, to you you will be receiving an email, right? And if you need to send an email, you can send through cloud service also. Okay. So what exactly SaaS it is? Provides ready to use software applications accessed over the internet, typically on a subscription basis. Typically on a subscription basis. The provider manages all aspects of the services. Okay, the provider will be managing all the aspects. They'll be managing the infra. They'll be managing the operator. I mean OS, the application software also they'll be managing. All we need to do is we need to use the software application. That's it. We need to use the application. As we are using that application, so it's a software, right? It's software. So that is known as a software as a service. Software as a service. How much you are using, you need to pay as per that particular hour or week. If you have used for 2 days, you have to pay the 2 days bill. That's it. So it will be on a subscription basis and also pay as you go kind of a service in IBM. Okay. So what is the example for it? IBM Watsonx Assistant SaaS offerings. Okay. IBM Watsonx Assistant is nothing but a assistant bot where it will be providing the software as a service offerings. Okay. Now everyone, let me know, are you clear with IaaS, PaaS, SaaS? Everyone clear with IaaS, SaaS and also PaaS? Any doubts? Anyone? Anyone? Any doubts? Okay, I hope you people understood. Okay, so now coming into introduction to IBM Cloud. So what it is saying, IBM's comprehensive suite of cloud computing services like IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS offered via public, private, and hybrid cloud models. So in the cloud models also we are having this public, private, and hybrid. What is this public, private, and hybrid? Now you people answer. So now explain me what is the difference between a public, private, and a hybrid cloud. See, when you're using all the cloud application or as a cloud platform, and you're deploying your application. Okay, you're deploying your application, and if that application is available to everyone and everyone is able to access that particular application, so that is a public cloud. Okay, and coming into this private, and what exactly private is nothing but so you have deployed that application, but whatever the incoming traffic, whatever the incoming user data which you are collecting is not available to everyone. Correct, will not be available to everyone because you need to store some details in your database also. So that will be coming under the private cloud. And if you are using the combination of both public and private, that will be called as a hybrid cloud type. Okay, hybrid cloud type. Okay. Okay, so I hope you understood between this public, private, and hybrid also. So the key differentiators, you can see what are all the potential key differentiators in IBM. There will be a strong focus on hybrid cloud. Okay, enterprise graded security and compliance, integration with the IBM software portfolios, leadership in AI, and quantum. So these are some of the potential key differentiators. Okay, there is this focus on the hybrid cloud because mostly the people will be opting for IBM cloud because of this hybrid cloud only. And enterprise graded security, enterprise level security means whatever the safety standard measures which an application needs to be followed, or else when you're working on a particular project, or else you're building your whole you're shifting everything to cloud, whatever the application security that needs to be built, it all will be coming under this enterprise graded security, and everything will be taken care through cloud itself. Okay, so that is one kind of a potential key differentiators. So leadership in AI, so we are having Watson already. So IBM Watson is from many. It's like from a decade back also we get to hear this IBM Watson, correct? So these are all some of the key differentiators. How exactly the IBM cloud is. Coming into global infra, overview of the regions, availability zones for high availability and data residency. So here we'll be having the regions and the availability zones, and also this high availability is nothing but in a region will be, let's say in a whole region, if you're having only one single data center, that won't be reaching out to the corner part of the regions, right? That won't be helpful for the users who are using it at the end of the region, or else let's say regions and availability zones, right? Just a minute, let me just share the one note, and I'll explain about these regions and availability zones. Okay. Okay. So now what are we discussing? We are discussing about this regions and availability zones, correct? Region and availability zones. So in the region, we will be having the availability zones. Remember, okay? In region, we will have availability zones. Okay. So let's say this is the whole region. Okay. This is the whole region. And in the region, we'll have all these dots. You can consider it as availability zone. The availability zone will be written as AZ. And let's say this is the whole region. Okay. Whole region. So this is how it will be. Now we'll discuss what is regions and availability zones. So regions are nothing but the geographical locations, okay? Geographical locations where IBM cloud resources are hosted. and multiple data centers within a regions provide the high availability. So let's say this is a region. Let's say this is an Asia region, okay, Asia region, and there is one availability zone over here. This is AZ. This is AZ. Now a person is here, and there were two persons, okay, two persons who were trying to access this application which has been deployed in this availability zone, okay. The application has been deployed in this availability zone. There were two persons. One is very near to availability zone, one is very far away from availability zone. Now, which person will have the more availability of that application, will have more exposure of that application? For this person, it will be very quick and smooth, right? The application will be running very quick and smooth for this particular person. But for this person, the application will not be that smooth, correct? The application will not be that smooth. And also there will be too much network issues, correct? There will be too much network issues because he is very far away from that availability zone. So in order to avoid this kind of error or else redundancy, so every cloud provider make sure that in every region there were multiple availability zones. Multiple availability zones will help us to, they will keep a copy of the data which is present in this availability zone over here. Okay. And even here also, in each and every availability zone, it will have a copy of its own and also copy of another availability zone. So that whatever the content which has been uploaded in this particular availability zone, even this person will be able to access that particular application seamlessly. This person will also be able to access the application or the file, or else I'll give an example. Okay. So let's say in this availability zone, okay, fine. This that is will be another different concept. Okay, just understand this for now. A person uploaded the file or the application here. It's up and running. Person who is staying near to that application, I mean, who is almost near to that availability center, he'll have a very good experience in using that application. The person who is very far away, he will have a very bad experience. So in order to avoid that, there will be multiple availability zones present in one single region. Okay. In a one single region. So I hope you understood what exactly region and availability zones are. And each availability zone is a separate data center. Okay. Each availability zone is a separate data center where it will have its own power, cooling, network. Okay. Fine. So I'll just add this point also. So let's say first regions, okay, regions, and then availability zones. Remember, first comes the regions, and in the regions only we'll have multiple availability zones. A region can have a multiple availability zone, and each availability zone is separate data center within the region. Okay, within that particular region. So let's say this is the whole US. Okay, this is the whole US. So now what are we doing? So we are considering the south part of the US. Okay, considering the south part of the US. So this will be the region. I can consider this US South as a region. US South will be the region, and under this US South, what happens? We'll have the availability zones. Okay, availability zones inside this particular region. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 availability zones I'm having. Okay, 4 availability zones I will be having, and each availability zone is a separate data center. Okay, and how we'll be using this availability zones and regions? By deploying the resources across multiple availability zones within a particular region. Why? To make sure that there is high availability and minimum risk of downtime. Okay, minimum risk of downtime. Now let me share the PPT once again. I hope you understood about this availability zone and the region. If anyone is having any doubts, you may ask me again. Okay. Okay, we are done with this availability zones and regions also. So this is about the IBM Cloud. Okay, this is about the IBM Cloud and what are all the features which are present in the IBM Cloud. How many data centers are present? How many regions are present? How many availability zones are present? Okay, in how many different continents we are having. IBM. This is completely about the IBM. So you can see over here what are the different types of clouds available: public, private, and hybrid. Correct, public, private, and hybrid. And what is this managed Redshift Open? I mean Red Hat OpenShift. Remember when we are discussing regarding the storage, we got that right. We got this Kubernetes service also, correct. And if you see over here, it is talking about the data centers, regions, availability zones in 5 different continents. It is having presently, right. And coming over here, it is talking about the cloud park also. What is cloud packs? Business automation we can do, data, and we can store the data. We can perform the data integration also. Network automation, security, VATS and AIOps. AIOps is nothing but artificial intelligence operations. Okay, by using the VATS, we can also perform the AI operations. So these are all the things which we can do. Okay, these are all the things which we can do by using this IBM Cloud. By using IBM Cloud. Just see these 17 service categories: container services, microservices, serverless, DevOps, data lakes, IBM Z, IBM Garage, and we can implement it in AML analytics, blockchain, databases, IoT, network, quantum, security, storage. So these are all the different ways we can use. I mean, different services which are provided by the IBM, where we can implement IBM Cloud, or else where we can use the IBM Cloud. Okay. Okay. So now moving into the key services. Okay, so for each and every cloud platform, we'll have the key services. Okay. And coming into IBM, what are all the key services here? Compute. In the computing, in the compute category, what are all the key services we are seeing? Virtual servers, bare metal, code engine, Kubernetes, Red Hat OpenShift, functions. Functions. So serverless. What is this function serverless? See, sometimes what happens is we just need to trigger that particular code. Okay, we just need to trigger the particular API. In order to trigger that API, we don't need a particular server, right? All we need to do is write a function and trigger that particular API. That's it. So in those kind of scenarios, we'll be going for a serverless option. Okay, we'll go for serverless option. So when coming into compute service, we are having these many services. It provides the virtual servers. It will provide the bare metal. It will provide a code engine. Code engine, remember, when we are discussing about the platform, we got this code engine, right? It will be providing us the Kubernetes services, Red Hat OpenShift, functions. Okay, these are all the things which come under the compute. In the storage, what are all the things will come? Cloud object storage. Object storage is nothing but storing the files in the format of object. Okay, we are having block storage, file storage. Okay, file storage. It's like a folder inside a folder having the folders, and those folders having the files inside them. It's like our file explorer. Okay, it's like our my like Windows operating system file explorer kind of storage. Okay, hierarchy. File storage is of hierarchy. Okay, and the next one is AI and machine learning. AI or machine learning. So what it is saying? So in machine learning or AI, they also offer the services, and those services names are called as Watson X AI, Watson Studio, Watson Assistants, Watson Assistant Discovery, Speech to Text, Natural Language Understanding. So these are all the various areas where IBM is able to offer the machine learning and the AI services. Okay. And coming into databases, they were able to provide the database service also, where DB2 on Cloud where Cloud is a NoSQL, and also databases for PostgreSQL and MongoDB, Redis. Okay, for these kind of databases also they will provide the service. Okay, then coming into networking, in the networking where they are having VPC, direct link, transit gateway, load balancers. Load balancer we have already discussed about this while discussing the cloud only. VPC we have just seen. VPC is nothing but virtual private clouds. Okay, that is about the networking services. And in the security also they are providing some services. What are the services? Security and Compliance Center, Key Protect, Hyper Protect Crypto services. Okay, these are some of the security services they will provide, which are related to crypto, or else which are normal compliance services also. And developer tools, continuous delivery, and we can also implement the CI/CD. Okay, here it was mentioned only continuous delivery. We can use the DevOps tool chains, application ID authentication also we can do. So these are all some of the key services. Okay. So when you remember the word compute in IBM, what kind of compute services? Then you can mention virtual server, bare metal, core engine, Kubernetes, functions. And when you hear about this security, you can mention about this key protect, crypto services, security and compliance center. Okay. So that is what these key services are. Understood key services? Okay, fine. Thank you. So industry use cases. Okay. Industry use cases. What are some of the industry use cases we'll see? So coming into financial services, what it is saying, secure and compliant platforms for banking applications, risk analysis, fraud detection, how we are able to implement the services in all these kind of areas by using the IBM Cloud. Okay, by using the IBM Cloud. And even in the healthcare also we can implement. There is this HIPAA enabled infra for patient data management. Okay, to manage the patient data, there is this HIPAA, and also we can implement a AI powered diagnostics also to scan and analyze the medical images. Medical images in the sense the CT scan, the MRI scans. Okay, scan and analyze those kind of scans also. We can implement AI over in that particular area also. Okay, so what is this retail and manufacturing? In the retail, it will be scalable e-commerce platforms, supply chain optimization, personalized customer experience using AI. So these are all some of the use cases In the retail sector, okay, in the retail sector, these are some of the use cases where we can implement IBM Cloud. And coming into manufacturing side, you can go for the IoT platforms for predictive maintenance, supply chain visibility, and connected factory solutions. Okay, so these are some of the industry use cases. We'll just proceed forward. Okay, IBM Cloud account and account types. So even to use the IBM also, there were different types, or else it has been segregated into different types. First one is light account. Light account is nothing but the free tier with access to select always free services. Okay, what see sometimes some services will be having a limit, and mostly that will be considered under the always free services, because just like we have seen Gemini, right? In one single day, we won't be doing a 1500, right? We won't be doing a 1500. If you are using it just for a testing purpose, we won't be hitting a 1500 request in a day, or else in an hour, correct? So in that case, we went for that particular Google Gemini API. So here also, it will be few services where we can just do for the testing purpose. We can use for the testing purpose. If we want the particular service to use, we can go for a pay as you go format, or else a subscription format. Pay as you go. Pay as you go is nothing but access to full catalog. Pay only for what you consume beyond free allowances. It is beyond the free allowance. Once you have crossed that free limit only, then you will be getting charged. That is one more advantage of this cloud, okay? IBM Cloud. And subscription. Subscription format is nothing but volume, stay, discount, and committed use of options for the enterprise. So these are the three different types of cloud accounts: light, pay as you go, subscription. Okay. So in the IBM Cloud, we'll have the cloud console, and also command line interface. Command line interface is mainly used for managing the cloud resources from the command line, okay, which are mainly essential for automation and scripting. And I'll show you the IBM dashboard also. Don't worry. Now we are going to discuss about this Watson platform. Until now, anyone any doubts? Okay, see, no one is having any doubts. Fine. So Watson platform. So coming into Watson we're having a core goal, the key pillars. So we'll just start from here. Watson. So Watson is an IBM enterprise focused AI and data platform. Okay, it's an IBM enterprise focused AI and data platform which is designed to help the organizations train, validate, tune, and deploy the AI models. Okay, deploy the AI models, which includes the foundation models and the generative AI models also. And it is responsible and also at scale. We can deploy the AI models responsibly and scale them also. That's it. So what is the core goal of this Watson X? Enable the enterprise to build and adapt AI for their specific business needs, integrating AI across workflows while managing the data and governance. Okay. And three key pillars. What are the three key pillars? Watson X AI, Watson X data, and Watson X governance. Okay, these are the three main key pillars. And coming to Watson X AI, it will be the AI studio for the builders. And in what's the next dot data, it will be fit for purpose data store. Okay, purpose data store. And in what's the next dot governance, it will be AI governance toolkit. Okay, AI governance toolkit. So these are all the three main key pillars: X data, X governance, X AI. Okay, these are the three key pillars for the Watson X. So firstly, we will be going to discuss about this Watson X AI, the AI Studio. So it will provide the tools and infra for end-to-end AI model lifecycle with a strong emphasis on foundational models, and some of the key capabilities also we are having: model library, prompt lab, tuning studio, data annotation tools, model deployment, and integration. Okay, once go through this, guys. Once go through this, just give me a minute. Okay, once go through this, and also we'll just take a short break. Okay, we'll just have a short break for 10 minutes. Once go through this, if anyone is having any doubts, ask me in the Q&A. Okay. I see someone raising their hand. So for now, let's have a short break. Okay, let's have a short break for 10 minutes, and we'll everyone be back here after 10 minutes. Okay, we'll discuss the further IBM Cloud. Okay. I hope everyone is back from the break. I'll start sharing my screen. Okay, so we were about to discuss about this Watson X AI, right? So what are the key capabilities have you gone through, right? You people have gone through this, right? So first, I'll just go through this line and I will go through the key capabilities once again, okay? So it provides tools and infrastructure for the end-to-end AI model lifecycle with strong emphasis on foundation models. So in the IBM, we'll be having the foundation models. Sorry. So what it is saying, it will provide the tools and infra for the end-to-end AI model lifecycle with a strong emphasis on foundational models. Okay. And what are the key capabilities? Foundational model library, prompt lab, tuning studio, data annotation tools, model deployment, integration. Okay, these are all some of the key capabilities. First, we'll go through this foundation model library. What it is saying, access to IBM trained and open source foundation models. See, whatever the models which have been introduced by the IBM, okay, which have been introduced by the IBM, and whatever the models which have been released by the IBM and which have been made as an open source, which are available to everyone. Those kind of models will have that model library. Okay, we'll have all those models library. That is what the foundation model library is. And one more thing, this is important about IBM. Okay, in IBM, all the models are trained on the enterprise level data. Okay, in IBM, all the models are trained on the enterprise level data. Okay, enterprise level data. Remember this, everyone. And what is next one? Prompt lab. What is prompt lab? Interactive environment for experimenting with prompting foundation models without code, and also testing different models, parameters, and prompt engineering techniques. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, fine. So we are discussing about the prompt lab, right? Interactive environment for experimenting with prompting foundation models without the code. Without using the code only, I mean, without involving with the code, we can directly interact with the models. As we have did in what we did in Google AI Studio, we can directly interact with the models, right? We can also chat over there. We are having many playgrounds also. So in the same way, we'll have this prompt lab in the Watson X AI also. Okay, testing different models. We can test different models output. We can introduce the parameters. I mean, we can't introduce the parameters. We can get to know about these parameters. Okay. Parameters I have explained you when we're explaining this, when we're going through the generic content, okay? The transformers, those things, okay? And the prompt engineering techniques also. Prompt engineering techniques we'll see once we are done with this IBM, okay? And there is tuning studio also. What is tuning studio? Fine tuning the foundation models with labeled data to adapt them for specific task and improve performance. See, tuning studio is nothing but a fine tuning, okay? Fine tuning. When we will do fine tuning, when we want the model to learn on our data also, okay? When we want the model to learn on our data and answer the queries on our data also, then we will fine tune our model, okay? And also we are having data annotation tools, integrated tools for labeling data needed for tuning. So data annotation tools is nothing but, again, to perform the tuning, there were some specific tools available to label the data. So after that, then we can go into tuning studio and we can tune our model. So in order to label the data also, we are having some data annotation tools, okay? And coming into model deployment, we can what we can do, deploying the foundation models and traditional machine learning models as APIs for application integration. So we can directly deploy the foundation models and traditional models in the format of API keys for application integration purpose, just as we did by using the Google AI Studio, okay? And integration, it works seamlessly with the Watson Studio and other MLOps tools also. MLOps is nothing but machine learning operations, okay? MLOps is nothing but machine learning operations. You can integrate seamlessly in any of the application, okay? Where if we want to use the Watson Studio or else other MLOps tools also, we can integrate just by using the APIs, okay? This is about the Watson X AI, the AI Studio. If anyone is having any doubts on Watson X AI, let me know, okay? So navigating Watson X and AI interference, what are the key areas? So the key areas we have seen as per this, we understood that there is this tuning studio, prompt lab, and there is a specific area for the foundation models library, model deployment that we'll be doing through API keys only. So what are we seeing over here? Projects, foundation model library, prompt lab, and tuning studio, okay? So projects is nothing but what kind of project that you're working on, okay? What project are you working on? Related to that project, a specific API key will be available, or else we can create as many API keys as required for that particular single project, and then we can work. So that is one of the key area. Projects is one of the key area, and in the foundational models library, we'll find all the models, right? We'll find all the models, and prompt lab is nothing but if we can test the model. We can test the model and we can compare the results from one model to another model in the IBM Watson itself. In the Watson X AI interface, okay? In the Watson X AI interface, we can find all these key areas, prompt lab, tuning studio also present. Okay, there is this tuning studio is for fine tuning that particular model. Okay. So Watson X data. So here we have seen three key pillars. Correct. Three key pillars. Watson X AI, Watson X data, Watson X governance. We are done with the AI studio for the builders. Now we are looking out. Now we are going to discuss about the purpose data store. Okay, data store. So what is this data foundation lake house? Now we'll be seeing. A data store is built on a open data lakehouse architecture designed to provide scalable, cost-effective access to data for AI and analytics workload. Okay. So what is this data store? Data store is nothing but in the Watson X data. Here it will be storing the data in the format of a lakehouse architecture, which is designed to provide the scalable and cost-effective access to the data which we are storing, specifically for the AI and analytics workloads. Okay. So what is this lakehouse architecture? Lakehouse architecture will have the concept and the benefits. In the concept, what it is saying combines the flexibility and low cost of the data lakes with the performance, management, and governance features of the data warehouse. Okay, whatever the data warehouses which we are having, we all know some of the warehouse features of a data, right? So by combining that and also the performance management and the low cost of these data lakes, flexibility. So combining all these performance, flexibility, management, governance under one single architecture is known as a lakehouse architecture. Okay, combining the flexibility, the low cost of data lakes with the performance, management, governance features of the data warehouses. All these features under one single architecture is known as a lakehouse architecture. That is the concept. And benefits, what are the benefits? It could be reduces the data duplication. Okay, this is one of the main concern, right? Data duplication is one of the main concern. So reduce the data duplication, simplifies the data pipeline, will simplify the data pipelines, support the diverse data types, types of data, structured, semi-structured, unstructured. And it will also help us to enable the direct querying on cloud object storage. Okay, will also enable the direct querying on cloud object storage. So we can directly interact with the storage. And if we are deploying our storage, complete whole files in the object storage format, we can directly query with that. Okay, we directly query with that particular storage. Understanding, confusing, any doubts? Anyone, any doubts? Understood? Okay, clear. So I feel like I'm rushing, but if my pace is fine, I'll just continue with the same pace. Were you able to understand each and every terminology, everyone? All the 54 people, Abhishek, Amit, Aniket, Anirudh, Anjali, Nishka, Atharva, Chetan, Ayush, Asna, Chirag, Dhruv, all of you, were you able to understand? Is my pace fine? Sorry. Okay. So key capabilities. So what are these key capabilities of Watsonx data? Open formats, built on open table formats like Apache Iceberg, shared metadata. So it will have a shared metadata format like the centralized cataloging for discoverability. Okay. And query engine optimization also it will have. Integrates multiple query engines like the Pestro, Spark, and it has been optimized for different workloads also. Coming into storage choice, it can directly connect to various cloud object storage options. And governance integration, this is also very important, which is designed to work with watsonx.governance also. This watsonx data will be directly integrated with the watsonx governance also. Okay, these are some of the key capabilities of watsonx data. Open formats, shared metadata, query engine optimization, storage choice, governance integration. Okay. So how to interact with the data in the watsonx data? Okay. So data management. What is this data management? Connecting to data sources such as cloud object storage and existing databases. Registering the tables using the open format. Open format is nothing but the iceberg format, okay? And managing the metadata and schemes. So that is how we manage the data. Connecting to data sources, registering the tables, managing the metadata and schemas, and coming to querying data, how we are doing it. We can use the SQL interface. Okay, we can use the SQL interface. Example is through integrated query editors or else business intelligence tools and notebooks also. Leveraging different query engines based on the needs, like Pestro for interactive SQL and Spark for complex extract, transform, load or machine learning purpose. And also we can access control and security features also by using the querying data. Okay. So these are some of the ways to interact with the data, the Watsonx data. That is, one way is through querying data. We can directly use the SQL interface, or else we can access the control and the security features also. If you are using the Spark, by using the Spark for complex ETL and machine learning, and Presto for interactive SQL purpose. Okay. So exploring sample data in the Watsonx data. Scenario walkthrough, how we'll be exploring a sample data, a conceptual demo. Okay. We'll just look through this now. So first, what it is saying, connecting to a sample dataset stored in a cloud object storage. So in the IBM cloud, we have stored our sample dataset, and we have stored it in the format of cloud object storage. And how are we connecting to that particular dataset which is stored in the cloud object storage? We'll see. Okay, so that is one thing. We'll connect to that, and after that, registering the data as an iceberg table within the Watsonx data. So within the Watsonx data, we'll be registering our data in the format of iceberg table. And then what we'll do, using the built-in SQL editor, we'll run the basic queries like select, where, group by on the same sample data. And that's how the data is accessed directly from the object storage. We need to connect our dataset. We need to make sure our dataset is present in our cloud object storage. And we need to register our data as an iceberg table within the Watsonx data. And then we can run the built-in SQL editor. And in the built-in SQL editor, we can run the basic queries. And that is how we'll be interacting with our data, which is present in cloud object storage. Okay. So that is one way how we'll be interacting with our data directly in the Watsonx.data. Okay. So understood Watsonx.data. See, all these things are just to understand how cloud is changing the things. Okay, how cloud is changing things. This is what you need to understand and grasp the things over here. And whatever the key terminologies you are hearing, please make a note of it. Okay. Okay, fine. So we'll just move back again. So Watsonx governance. So what it is saying about is, it will say about AI governance toolkit. So it will provide the tools and capabilities to direct, manage, and monitor the AI activities across organization, ensuring the trust, transparency, and compliance. And it will also address the risk associated with the AI, especially with the foundation models. Okay. Whatever the risk factor we will be considering, it will also make sure that in this Watsonx governance, those kind of issues are being addressed. Okay. Especially if it is with the foundation models, it will make sure that it is addressing those kind of scenarios. Okay. And what is the importance of AI governance? See, understanding governance is very important. Okay. In today's current scenario, like we were seeing agent to agent interaction, multiple agent interactions. Correct. So understanding AI governance is very important. So trust and transparency, risk mitigation, compliance, operational efficiency. So these are some of the AI governance. So what is trust and transparency? What it is meaning? Building stakeholder confidence in the AI systems. Okay. And risk mitigation is nothing but identifying that particular risk and managing the risk related to bias, fairness, drift, security, and privacy. Okay. So related to security, privacy, and also if there is any bias and if the fairness, if the in the response is the fairness being followed, and is there a drift happening in the response also. So all these kind of things will be identified and managed. Okay. So that will be coming under the risk mitigation. And also we are having this compliance. Another compliance we are having meeting the regulatory requirements. See, regulatory requirements is nothing but whenever we are watching any news channels or else whenever we are reading any newspaper, we'll be seeing some of the news like as due to not meeting the regulatory requirements by this act or else by the Indian act or else by any European act, a particular company or else a particular person or else a particular application will be banned from that particular region, correct? So that is what the compliance is. See, like previously, there was a ban on some of the applications, and which is also still in effect, correct? So, as that particular application is not meeting the regulatory requirements, that particular application will be planned. So, those kind of things will come under the compliance, okay? And this compliance will come under the AI governance, okay? AI governance, and in this Vaccinax governance, it will also make sure that there is this compliance key factor involved, okay? Compliance is playing an important role. It will make sure. And operational efficiency. What it is saying, automating the governance process throughout the AI lifecycle. So whatever this governance process which we have implemented in our application, it will make sure that each and every governance process is being automated throughout this particular AI lifecycle. Okay, AI lifecycle. So what are the important key factors here? Once again, trust and transparency, risk mitigation, compliance, operational efficiency. Okay. So these are the main important things when we were discussing about this AI governance. Okay. So these are important. So then comes the capabilities of Watson X governance. What are the capabilities? There were two factors here. What is this model lifecycle management, AI risk and compliance monitoring? First, we'll discuss about this model lifecycle management. What is model lifecycle management? So tracking the model development, training, deployment, lineage, okay, or else lineage you can say. Model inventory and metadata management, okay, and then workflow automation for approvals and validation. So these all things which are related to that particular model only, which is starting from managing that particular model and pushing it into training, development, deployment, and then storing the model metadata management or else managing the metadata and all the workflow automations for approvals and validations. Okay, all those things comes under the model lifecycle management, and this is one of the main capability of Watsonx governance. Okay, and the next one is AI risk and compliance monitoring. What it is: drift detection, fairness monitoring, quality monitoring, explainability. See, drift detection is very important again because monitoring for changes in data or model predictions over time. So if there were any changes present in the model, so immediately we need to make sure that we are replacing that model, right? Because the model is not giving a proper response, and if it is giving a incorrect answers, so in that case, the model is of no good, right? The model is of no good. We need to change the model again. So we can go for this drift detection. Immediately we can check the model, fairness monitoring, quality monitoring, explainability. Explainability is providing insights into the model prediction. Okay. And also there is this policy enforcement also. What is policy enforcement? Defining and enforcing the organizational policies for AI development and deployment. Okay. AI development and deployment. So these are all some of the capabilities of Vaccinax governance. Model lifecycle management, AI risk and compliance monitoring, policy enforcement. Okay. These are the capabilities of Vaccinax governance. So responsible AI with Vaccinax governance. This is another important term. Okay. Responsible AI is an important term. Anyone heard about responsible AI? Anyone heard of this responsible AI concept? Just a moment. So moving back into this responsible AI with the VaccinaX governance, what it is saying, setting the guardrails for the foundation models. So what is this guardrails again? Defining the policies for the acceptable use, monitoring the prompts and responsible for harmful content, hate speech, and also what it is saying, and also what it is talking about. It is talking about the PII leakage, okay, implementing the content filtering mechanisms, correct. So bias detection and mitigation. Bias detection and mitigation is nothing but using fairness metrics and explainability tools to identify and address the bias in the model, both traditional machine learning way and also in the foundational models also. Transparency and documentation, automatically generating the model fact sheets and also documentation requires, which is required for auditing and regulatory compliance. So in order to make sure we are using the AI responsibly, we need to follow all this bias detection, transparency documentation, collaboration, bias detection and mitigation. We need to follow all these guardrails, okay? And what is this collaboration saying about? Providing a central platform for different stakeholders. So different stakeholders in the sense, data scientists, risk officers, legal teams, everyone can collaborate on the AI governance. So that is what different teams are collaborating by using one single platform. So these are all some of the guardrails, okay? Responsible AI and also here if you see the capabilities and the governance, importance of governance is very important, okay? Importance of governance, capabilities, model lifecycle, AI risk and compliance monitoring, policy enforcement, responsible AI with VATSNX governance. These things are very important. So Watson orchestrate. What is Watson orchestrate? We'll see. Now we have seen about what we have seen until now. We have seen about VatsonX platform, and in the VatsonX platform, we are having VatsonX AI, VatsonX data, VatsonX governance. We have seen about the AI, we have seen about the data, we have seen about the governance. Correct. In the VatsonX platform. So VatsonX platform is done. Now Watson orchestrate will be seeing. In the VatsonX platform, we have seen x.ai, x.data, x.governance. Now we'll start with the Watson orchestrate. So what is this Watson orchestrate? It is an AI-powered automation service which will help the users to automate the repetitive task. Okay, to automate the repetitive task, it will help the users, and also it will also process the how it will process. It will process by using natural language and a library of pre-built skills. Okay, and by using the library of pre-built skills and also by using NLP, it will be processing them. Okay, it will be processing the repetitive task. So the main key concept of this Watson orchestrate is nothing but a digital worker or else an AI assistant that understands request, identifies relevant skills from the connected applications and execute the task of the workflows. Okay, digital worker in the sense now in current trend that is what the AI agencies. Okay, AI agencies. So I'll just proceed forward. So key capabilities, natural language interface. So natural language, we all know. We have also seen the NLP also. So interacting via chat or voice. Skill discovery, how the skill discovery is happening. Automatically suggesting relevant skills based on the user context. Correct. Based on the user context, the skills will be automatically suggested. So that will be one kind of a key capability. Workflow automation, combining multiple skills into automated sequences. Yes, when we're having multiple skills, we can combine those skills and we can create an automation also. So that is what the workflow automation is. Contextualization. Contextualization means learns user preferences and context over time. And extensibility. Extensibility is add custom skills. You can also add the custom skills also. Skills in the sense, here you have seen the pre-built skills, right? Those. Okay. So these are some of the key capabilities for Watson Orchestrate. Use cases. Once go through the use cases, guys. Just once go through the examples and also focus point. Okay, I hope you have gone through the use cases also. So what is the focus and what are the examples over here? Automating the routine business process that involves the multiple applications. Okay. So by using this Watson Orchestrate, what are we doing? We are optimizing the things. Okay. If there is any routine business process, we are optimizing that. Correct. And how are we doing exactly? What are the examples? In the sales, in the HR, in the operations, there were some examples. In the sales, how are we doing? Update in the customer relationship management records, like the Salesforce. By using the Salesforce, we are directly updating the CRM. And based on the email content, scheduling the follow-up meetings, generating the sales report, and in the HR department, scheduling the interviews, initiating onboarding workflows, processing expense reports. Okay. And in the operations department, creating support tickets, ServiceNow. Okay. Currently, ServiceNow, Salesforce are on trend. So creating support tickets from Slack messages. So for messaging, either we can use Teams or Slacks. Okay. So from Slack, Slack is another messaging platform. Okay. So from Slack messages, we'll create the support tickets, routine approvals, generating status updates, personal productivity. In the personal productivity, scheduling the meetings across calendars, summarizing the documents, drafting emails. All these things we have seen. Correct. In nowadays, we were able to make sure that in all these things, we are not keeping much time. I mean, we are not spending much time, right? In drafting an email, in summarizing the document, we are just using a online available LLM, correct? And LLM playground. So we are just visiting that particular LLM and we are summarizing the document, drafting that email, correct? So these are some of the use cases in different sectors or departments: sales, HR, operations, personal productivity. Okay, fine. So creating the workflows in Watson Orchestrate. So how to create the workflow in the Watson Orchestrate, we'll see. So workflows are sequences of the skills chained together to automate a multiple step process. So it is telling about the workflow creation in the Watson Orchestrate. So it's like arranging a skills in a sequential chain format to create the multi-step process. And how we are doing it. First, we are initiating the things. What is this initiate? Start by making a request in the natural language or selecting a starting skill. Select a starting skill, or else directly you can start by making a request in the NLP or else in the natural language. And then we can select the skills, or else we can directly select the skills only. So if you are directly making a request in NLP and selecting the skills, what to do in select the skills? Choose from suggested pre-built skills or custom skills. Okay. Suggested pre-built skills are also present. Custom skills we can create. Okay. We can either choose one. And then we'll connect the applications. How are we connecting the applications? Authorize the Watson Orchestrate to access relevant business tools. Okay? To access the relevant business tools, we'll be providing the credentials also, and we'll be authorizing the Watson Orchestrate to access those particular tools. Okay. So to know what are we doing? First, initially, we are making a request in the natural language. Select the starting skill, or else we'll directly select the skills, either from the pre-built skill or the custom skill. Then we'll connect the applications. How are we connecting the applications? We are authorizing the Watson Orchestrate to access the relevant tools by providing the credentials. Then we'll write the configuration steps and we'll test and run. Okay. And in the configuration steps, what it is: define the flow, map the data between the steps, set the conditions if required. Okay. And then we'll test and run it, executing the workflow manually or trigger it based on the event schedule. Whatever the event which is being scheduled, that operation or the workflow needs to be triggered and it should be up and running. So that's how we'll be test and run. Okay. So this is a step-by-step guide how to create a Watson. How to create a automated workflow by using the Watson Orchestrate. Okay. By using the Watson Orchestrate. So here we are having the key value and Watson Studio. What is this key value? So Watson Orchestrate derives the power from its ability to connect to and orchestrate the action across various enterprise applications. So what it is saying, in the various enterprise application, it will derive the power from its ability to connect to and orchestrate the actions. Ability to connect and also orchestrate the actions across various enterprise applications. What are the examples of this integration? collaborations. In the collaboration, one is Slack and Microsoft Teams. So by using this Slack and Microsoft Teams, it is able to do the automations by using the Watson Orchestrate. And coming into CRM with the Salesforce also they can do. Coming into ERP, in the ERP we can directly do the Watson Orchestrate using the SAP or else S4 HANA. And for the HR, there is this Workday tool, right? We can now also implement this Workday tool by using the Watson Orchestrate. And for support or the support ticket purpose, we can use the ServiceNow. And the office suits are Microsoft 365, Google Workspace. Okay, so these are all the some of the areas where the integrations have happened, or else we can do the integrations also by using the Watson Orchestrate. Okay, Watson Orchestrate. And this is about Watson Studio, benefits of Watson Studio. So coming into IBM Watson Studio benefits, creating the project, we'll be seeing tomorrow. Okay, in tomorrow's session, we'll be completing this IBM Watson Studio. Okay. So until now, we have discussed about Watson Orchestrate. Correct, Watson Orchestrate we have discussed, and then what have we discussed? We have discussed about the Watson X, and in the Watson X about we have discussed about Watson X governance, Watson X data, and Watson X AI. Correct. So today we have discussed about this IBM cloud, types of cloud, service models, IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, hybrid, private cloud, public cloud. Correct. So if anyone is having any doubts on all these topics or else any specific topic, you may ask me in the Q&A. Okay. I hope everyone is understanding. It's like understanding the particular cloud platform. Okay. Understanding the cloud platform and understanding the workflow architectures. That's it. Once we are done with that PPT, we'll just see one implementation. Okay, any one of the implementation we'll see by using the IBM Cloud, and we'll also create the IBM Cloud accounts also. So don't worry. Okay, fine. If anyone is having any doubts, please let me know in the Q&A. Thank you. So if anyone is having any doubts, do let me know. Okay. So we are done with the session for today. No one is having any doubts. You may leave the session for today, guys. Okay, one question. Okay, yeah, please, Krish. What is your query? You'll not be getting any answers or result of the graded quiz, okay? But the end of this particular session, when you're done with your projects, then you'll be getting to see all those, okay? No, no, I haven't given any assignment or project work, okay? Don't worry. Understanding everything, hopefully no one is left over, right? Like everyone is understanding, right? So immediately, if you're having doubt, let me know in the Q&A, okay? So that you make sure that you're clearing your doubts. And also while implementing the notebooks also, everyone understood, right? Okay, thank you. So if you're not having any doubts, you may leave the session, guys. Thank you for your time. So we'll meet tomorrow. We'll complete that, okay? Thank you. Thank you guys. Thanks for attending the session. I'll be ending the session now. You may leave the session also. Thank you.